motherfuckers? It's the hater, and the hater forgot to watch AEW. I think that speaks volumes as to what state wrestling is in now. It is in a state of garbage. Nobody likes this shit anymore. It's dumb. Nobody wants to see it. No one in AEW is compelling, and they keep telling me that people like Matt Hardy and Luke Harper are compelling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch it. I'll watch it tomorrow, I guess, but I did read about it. And what I read was garbage. Garbage. Like, Matt Hardy debuted in a tag match. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Matt Hardy, like the only guy other than Jericho that you have that has a semblance of success in wrestling. Like, that's one thing about AEW that is a big problem. They don't have any successful wrestlers. When I mean successful, I mean successful in the WWE. Not successful like the Young Bucks become the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions in Japan by beating by trading wins and losses with like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, who are NXT guys, you know, and all of a sudden they're like the best tag team in the world. Who the fuck agreed to that, you know? So you need people with WWE success. And thus far, the people that they've signed from WWE do not have WWE success except for Jericho. And I would argue next up is Matt Hardy, more so than Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose got a bullshit title run, you know, but he only got it so it would look like the Shield was strong. You know, it wasn't for Ambrose. It was just to like solidify how important the Shield was, that they won, that each of them became champion at some point. You know, like in hindsight, if you really think about it, like Dean Ambrose is the world champion. That's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense, motherfucks. But yet here it is. You know, so I consider his run at WWE largely a failure, whereas Matt Hardy is like a Hall of Fame wrestler. Like, basically it's like this. Out of everyone in AEW right now, the only people going into the WWE Hall of Fame are fucking Jericho and Matt Hardy, right? And Goldust, you know? So, but Goldust is a jobber, so you can't do it to him. So that's what I gotta say about that. Matt Hardy is someone that, even though, I mean, I'm not saying he's like the greatest wrestler ever, but I like Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy should be someone that wrestles his first match as a singles match if it's not going to be that War Games bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Matt Hardy versus, like, someone good. Not Sammy Guevara, but so like a minimum of Jack Swagger. Ideally, it should be Matt Hardy versus MJF, and Matt Hardy beats him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what should happen. Not Matt Hardy, like, you know, and Kenny Omega versus Jericho and fucking, what's his face? Sammy Davari. You know what I'm saying? No one cares about these motherfuckers, you know? So, there you have it. I mean, Matt Hardy's debut seems like it fell flat. According to what I read, apparently he had 3 costume changes during the match. And Alfred Konuwa, remember him, motherfuckers? He said that this gimmick is getting very interesting very quickly. Now, if you're a grown man and you're interested about another grown man changing from one costume to another and then to a third, then there's something wrong with you and you're not cool, motherfuckers. I don't like you and I don't like what you're saying. What do you think of them apples? So, with that in mind, let's talk about something better that happened today. The debut of Karrion Kross. And right, Karrion Kross, now this guy, I've seen him on TNA like once or twice. I mean, I'm not really like thoroughly impressed by him, but that's because I haven't seen him. You know what I mean? I've made it very clear that my favorite wrestlers on NXT are Velveteen Dream and Dexter Lumis, motherfuckers. Dexter Lumis, remember him? So apparently Velveteen Dream wrestled Adam Cole on on NXT in the main event, and that's how that went down. You know what I'm saying? They wrestled in the main event. Nothing came of it. Like, Adam Cole wins. I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm fucking tired of this guy, you know? And Dexter Lumis apparently came and saved the day. That's what I read, I think, right? Killer Kross beat a jobber. He's going to get the treatment of every, like, you know, debuting guy in NXT. He's going to beat jobbers for a few weeks, and then either he's going to become relevant or he's going to fade into obscurity. Now, I'm not saying that Killer Kross is overrated because, quite frankly, I don't know enough about him, but I know that Punisher Martinez, who is now Damian Priest, I think that he's someone that should be pushed too. You know, like, I don't know if he's better or worse than Killer Kross, but I think he's pretty good. But he doesn't get the push. So don't be surprised if Killer Kross ends up floundering, much like Keith Lee did for a long, long time. Like, it's the same thing, motherfuckers. Like, Keith Lee, he gets a boost. You know, like, he gets a little bit of a boost during, like, Survivor Series all the way up to the Royal Rumble. Then he wins the NXT North American Championship. And then he does nothing, basically. Let's be real. He does nothing. I mean, it's a meaningless belt. It only gets meaning when someone like Roderick Strong holds it because he's part of a stable that holds all the titles. Otherwise, no one gives a fuck. It's the mid-card title of the jobber show. You know what I mean? It's like I would put it below the NXT Cruiserweight title as the least important title of all time. I would put it way below the 24/7 championship. Like, I think Gronk is a better champ. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. That's what I think about that. Like, Keith Lee's cool, though, so maybe he gets, something happens to him. But, again, don't be surprised if these motherfucks, like, just kind of flounder for a long time. I mean, it takes a while to get over in WWE with the people that are in charge, and for them to be like, all right, we're going to push Karrion Kross instead of, I don't know, what's his face? Fucking, that motherfuck. I won't say Desmond Archer. Whatever the fuck his name is. Damian Priest. Desmond Archer. It's a better name. But anyways, motherfucks, that's what I got to say about that. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about in terms of Karrion Kross yet is the point I'm trying to make. Like, let's not jump the gun on this guy or anybody else, and let's just wait until these people get to a certain point where they are relevant, right? Because look at what happened at the NXT Breakout Tournament. Whatever, fucking Jordan Miles or Jordan Smiles, whatever the fuck his name was, won, and then he, like, quit. You know what I'm saying? And then we have people like Dexter Lumis, who obviously should have won, and he, like, you know, he lost to, like, that fat Australian guy who, like, we haven't heard of since, and hopefully we never hear of again, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. Next up, I'd like to talk a little bit about Money in the Bank, motherfuckers. Money in the Bank. I'm actually excited, but I'm not excited because the event sounds good. I'm excited for one reason and one reason only, and that reason is we haven't had, like, a pay-per-view or anything like that for quite some time, it feels like. I mean, since WrestleMania, you know what I mean? But usually they're much more frequent than that. So I'm curious to see, like, what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see, like, how the wrestling show is going to be. I mean, I suspect it's going to be shit. But the card is Asuka versus Baszler versus Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. In other words, multiple jobbers in this match. One of them is going to be the Money in the Bank winner. Then we have Bryan, jobber, Rey Mysterio, legend, Aleister Black, jobber, King Corbin, Otis, that's going to be fun, and AJ Styles. The only ones here that deserve to win are AJ Styles or Rey Mysterio, but it looks like it's going to be Aleister Black, and maybe that'll continue the Aleister Black AJ Styles feud that they've been doing for quite some time now, on and off. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. I mean, come on, man. And right here it says Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. Does that mean he's going to just wrestle Bray Wyatt? Like, is it going to be The Fiend, or is it going to be just Bray Wyatt, you know? I kind of hope it's Bray Wyatt just for the fuck of it, you know what I'm saying? That'd be kind of nice, you know, just Bray Wyatt, so like in an attempt to protect The Fiend. But let's be real, there is no protecting that motherfucker ever again, you know what I'm saying? That guy is a loser. So the question will of course be, how can Braun Strowman beat Bray Wyatt if Bray Wyatt can just conjure up the Firefly Funhouse, which is in the same building, presumably, and, you know, just make him dance and wear an NWO shirt and then become champion like that? I mean, why don't they just do that? Makes sense to me, motherfucks. Then we have, what's it called? Bayley versus Tamina. Throwaway match completely. I hope Tamina wins just for the fuck of it. Drew McIntyre versus Rollins. Who gives a fuck? Drew McIntyre is obviously going to win. The match is going to be all right, probably. Just because, like, you know, they have to have an all right match because there's only 6 matches here. And then we have the fucking, what's it called? Fatal 4-way tag match for the SmackDown titles. I like this. This excites me a bit. It's going to be the New Day, Big E, and Kofi versus Miz and Morrison. The Lucha House Party, which is composed of Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado. And the team that I hope wins, the Forgotten Sons. You know what I'm saying? The Forgotten Sons are cool. Now, are they as cool as the Aces and Eights? No, motherfuckers, they're not. But they're cool enough. And I hope that Jackson Riker, who everyone may know as Gunner from TNA, I hope this motherfucker is part of that match and wins the tag team titles. At least give him a tag run, you know what I mean? This guy's legit. Gunner is just a beast. He's a big, strong-looking dude. He looks intimidating. He's great. He's tatted up, you know what I'm saying? He looks like a prisoner. I like this guy, you know? I don't know why people are so concerned with people like Karrion Kross, right? When you have Gunner, I mean, like, this guy is legit a badass. Like, you can just look at him and you're like, this is not a dude you want to fuck with, you know? He's not like this pretend, like Damian Priest, all these other weirdos. He's like a legit badass, you know? I think Jackson Riker, he's entered my top 3 in NXT. Even though I've seen him wrestle like once or twice in NXT, but whatever. Jackson Riker, motherfucks, that's going to be in it. Velveteen Dream at number 1, and number 2, Dexter Lumis. These are the ones to watch out for NXT, and I'm happy that it seems like they might be putting him on SmackDown as a result of the fact that, like, you know, they probably have, like, fewer people on the roster, so they're like, all right, fuck it, let's bring these motherfuckers up. It's a little weird because, like, them being, obviously, in a tag team title match is just very, very strange, just because I mean, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? I understand that they debuted in SmackDown, but it's like, what the fuck have they done in NXT? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the problem. It's like, yeah, they've been on SmackDown for like nearly a month, but what did they do in NXT? They weren't even on TV. So it's like, what's the storyline? They're just like, oh, like they had no room for them in NXT, so they sent them to SmackDown. I guess they're really trying with that, like, NXT is like, you know, a show on par with everything else theory. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of theories, I'm happy that Austin Theory is not in this pay-per-view, because I would not be surprised if he finds his way into the Money in the Bank ladder match somehow, motherfucks. So there you have it. This pay-per-view is particularly interesting, in my opinion, because it does not feature one main event level guy. You could argue that AJ Styles and maybe Rey Mysterio are main event level guys, but it's going to be a tough sell to tell me that Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Drew McIntyre, or even Seth Rollins are main event level guys. By that, I mean this. I do not expect neither Drew McIntyre nor Seth Rollins in a year and a half to be in the main event. I expect them to be in like a Lashley type situation. You know what I'm saying? Certainly not both of them are going to be main eventers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not see Drew McIntyre lasting as a main eventer. I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong because I like him, but I just don't see it. I mean, he's become goofy. You know, he's become what he hated. You know, he was like, everyone's complacent. Now he just counts with the crowd. First it was, I don't give a damn about the crowd. Now it's like, 1, 2, 3, Claymore County. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not catchy. Stop trying to make that cool. It's not cool, motherfucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to recapture that, like, Suplex City, like, moment, you know, but you can't force it. It can only be done if someone is as cool as Brock Lesnar. And people are like, haha, Brock Lesnar made a joke. He's so much cooler than me that I'm going to laugh, even though it's not that funny. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what you need. And Drew McIntyre, he's not cool. And the reason why he's not cool, and the main gripe I have with him, get ready for this, motherfuckers. I've mentioned it a few times in other videos, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit now. This is really the point of this video. Has anyone noticed, like, for example, it started when the alliance of Lashley, McIntyre, and Baron Corbin were together and they were beating up like Braun Strowman and shit, right? And during that time, I always noticed that they would like destroy Braun Strowman with like the ring steps or something, right? And Drew McIntyre, like Baron Corbin and Lashley are like holding their arms up, you know, like in victory pose. And Drew McIntyre is like on his knees for some reason. And this really bothered me. He's like on his knees, like looking at Braun Strowman, like, why are you on your knees? You know, like, all right, fine, you did it once, because, you know, the guy's like hurt and you want to like look him in the eye or something, whatever fucking justification you want to do. But this guy is always on his knees. And there's something, I don't know what it is, but it just bothers me. It's like such a forced thing. You know, like I think what it is that bothers me is that this guy thinks that doing this makes him like mysterious and cool. It doesn't. It makes him look retarded, motherfuckers. And there's a few wrestlers that do this kind of shit, that have these mannerisms, right, that they clearly think are good, but they're not good. Like Tessa Blanchard and her face, her like, nah, I'm serious face. You know what I mean? Like pan face bitch. Shut up. I don't want to see that garbage, right? Drew McIntyre, same thing. Like on his knees, bitch. He's just like on his knees, like, oh, I hurt someone. I'm on my knees now. He gets on his knees. He like puts his head down so his hair falls over his face, and then he like flicks his head back so his hair like jumps backwards, and he's on his knees and he has this like sadistic look on his face. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you on your knees? Like, you're a tall guy. The two other tall guys are standing like champions, and you're on your knees like the henchmen. You know what I'm saying? I know this is a small gripe, but I can't help it. The fact that Drew McIntyre spends a lot of time on his knees is something that I do not like, motherfuckers. I do not like. It's just weird to me, and I can't get past it. And I believe that for the sole reason that he's always on his knees, he will never be a real star. Because, now some of you are thinking, what does that have to do with anything? He can be on his knees and still be a good wrestler and charismatic and cool. Yes, that is technically true. But it's not true in practicality, and I'll explain why. Because if you're someone that thinks that being on your knees is cool, that means that there's a fundamental disconnect with what you think is cool and what is cool. And this disconnect is almost always too hard to bridge. So the knees are just a symptom of other mistakes that Drew McIntyre will invariably make in trying to connect with the audience. Now, will he connect with the neckbeard audience? Sure. I'm sure they all love him already. You know what I'm saying? But will he connect continuously with the mainstream audience, like people like Randy Orton, The Rock, Cena, Stone Cold, Taker, like these people have, right? Now, that's the last point I'm going to make in this video, because this primarily was about the Drew McIntyre knees situation. You know what I'm saying? The problem is exactly that people do not want to acknowledge the severe limitations of some of today's wrestlers. And when I say some of today's wrestlers, I mean most of them. It doesn't matter if you think they're good or not. It doesn't matter if I think they're good or not. What matters is, do you believe in your heart of hearts that they have this long-lasting appeal? The answer, motherfucks, is no. You understand what I'm saying? Whether you like Cena or hate Cena, you cannot deny the longevity of his appeal, right? He stayed relevant and he stayed important for a long, long time. And if he were around today, he could easily continue doing that, right? It's because Cena got out of the way that we have to tolerate people like Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. That's the real truth. Like, whether you like Cena, like, there's plenty of wrestlers that I don't particularly like that much, like Stone Cold. I mean, like, he's cool, but I was more of a Rock guy, you know what I mean? Like, or even Triple H. Like, Triple H is like, he's great compared to today's wrestlers, but back in the day, he wasn't one of my favorites, right? But I have to accept the fact that Triple H and Stone Cold and these people have had long-lasting appeals. And for anyone that's thinking to themselves, Triple H only did it because he married Stephanie. No, motherfucks. Because when I went to WrestleMania 27 or 28, I don't know, the one in Jersey, right? Like, when I went to that one, there was these two guys that I met. They were sitting near me. I was with my friend. They were sitting near me and my friend. They were one row behind us. And they were like, oh, man, we just got these tickets for like $300. They bought them that day. Like, I guess someone had to sell them. So they bought them, right? And I'm like, oh, so you guys are fans? And they're like, no, man, we haven't watched wrestling in years. And I'm like, well, why are you here? He's like, well, I Googled it. You know, someone told me it was, WrestleMania. He's like, I Googled it, and I heard Triple H is going to be on the show, so I came only for Triple H. Yeah? Do you see anybody in 10 years going to, like, WrestleMania being like, oh, I heard that Kevin Owens is coming out of retirement today. I'm going to go see him. That will never happen, motherfucks. It will never happen with him. It'll never happen with Rollins. It'll never happen with Drew McIntyre. It will only happen with people like Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, Cena, etc. Right? That's it. That's the difference. That is one of the big mistakes that WWE is making. I understand why they don't want to make stars, but you need to take a chance. You need to take a chance and you need to try to make some mainstream dude, and hopefully he's more John Cena than The Rock, and he sticks around for a little bit longer, and he can, carry your company for the next 15 years, and then he can go to Hollywood, do whatever the fuck he wants. Who cares? The fact that wrestlers are able to go to Hollywood is also a testament to the mainstream appeal of WWE, because they get a huge boost in their careers. Like, The Rock's like the #1 paid actor in the world, and if he hadn't been in wrestling, he never would be that guy. He never would be, because there's a lot of big dudes, right, that are better actors, quite frankly. But you understand what I'm saying. So there you go, motherfuckers. That's what I got to say about that. Drew McIntyre will never be taken seriously by me because he is always on his knees, motherfuckers. That's what I got to say about that. Deal with it, cooks.